Hi there, as you can see I'm still in Dubai. It's now September the 3rd, and the last video I made was towards the end of April after I got my bike license. So I'm stuck here for various reasons which I will go into detail in another video some other time, but anyway, for now I'm still in Dubai. Knowing I was going to be here through the summer, I decided to take the opportunity to fly back to the UK in early August and as well as to see my family, put myself through a fairly intensive first aid training course. This story starts, as all the best stories do, in a bar in Dubai in sort of late January, early February, where I was chatting with some friends about my forthcoming adventure. A chap who was part of the group but I didn't know came over and introduced himself. His name was Di Jones, and he explained that he had some very useful contacts from both a medical support and a security point of view throughout Africa. When I asked how that was, he said well, he'd actually travelled with Charlie Borman and Ewan McGregor on the Long Way Down video. He was travelling with the group as the medic and also in a sort of security advisory role, since that's what he does for a living. So great contact to make, and he came to see me a few days later, explain what his company Icarus does, and over the course of the next few weeks he, Jed Healy and Amy and Andy in the office back in Hereford, between them convinced me that I would be able to manage the course. To explain why that might be an issue, FREC is First Response Emergency Care, and MIRA is Medicine in Remote Areas, and it's a level 3 course, as I say, and perhaps the clue was in the level 3. Maybe I should have signed up for level 1, who knows. But it was a very intense course aimed at people who are going to support expeditions, travel with large groups or with groups in remote areas, and act as the sort of sole medical support to those groups. So for somebody who has zero medical knowledge like me, it was a lot to learn, a lot to get through. So I especially want to thank Andy, Mick, Dave and Cookie for putting me through the ringer and bringing me out the other side with a far more knowledge than I ever dreamt I could soak up in a week. Yeah, it was hard going. I know you were very patient with me and I really appreciate that. There must have been times when you were pulling your hair out, but you got me through it. I'm very grateful to you. Thanks very much, and enough rambling from me. We'll cut now to the video. Oh, just to explain, how intense was the course? Sorry. Yeah, this is the book I was given at the end of the course after I qualified. That's 700 pages of additional notes, which I will be carrying with me in my truck. It's been a month since I did the training and I've got 165 pages of the way through it. So yeah, lots to take on, but incredibly useful information, and I thank you all for getting me through it. Cheers.
Hi, right, well, I have just concluded one of the toughest weeks of my life, maybe not entirely physically, partly the toughest mental weeks of my life as well. I've just completed the FREC/MIRA level 3 course here at Icarus in Hereford. I'm here with Andy Fraser, who is the training manager for Icarus, and has put me and 5 other now friends and colleagues, victims, yeah, we don't like to use that word, we like to think of them as patients, through a course which has taken me from absolute zero in terms of first aid skills and taken me to a level where I've now just passed. Thank you.
You're welcome, well done.
The 14th person in Britain to pass this particular course,
yes,
or possibly the 9th, I don't know, yeah, depending. And it's been incredible. I am the squeamish sort. I don't like to watch Casualty or ER, and on day 1, Monday, 4 hours into the course, these guys have given you enough information and training to say, right, now cut that throat open and put an surgical airway, emergency tracheostomy into an airway, in through the cricothyroid. Remember, I'm still learning the medical terms, but I can do the operation. I had to do it again yesterday under fire, and we'll get to that later. Under fire-ish. So, Andy, thank you very much. It's been an amazing week. I've loved every second of it, even though I came in very scared and nervous about being surrounded by experienced medics. You've got me through it. I've loved it. I recommend it to anybody to do this, and I've genuinely, I'm very pleased, I want to say proud, but I'm so happy to have got this qualification, because I think it's going to be valuable for me. The reason I've done this is because of my travels. so as to prepare myself and be better prepared for anything that might happen to me on the road. And I honestly feel now that I need to buy a few bits of kit for the truck, but I could actually stop and help a lot of other people if an incident arises. There's no way I would have done that a week ago. So, sorry, I'm rambling on because my adrenaline's like this. Tell us a little bit about Icarus, if you can, and what you do for civilians and others.
So we're quite a big company,
Yep.
I'm sure you see. So we've got various different divisions. We've got the remote healthcare division, training and development division, which you're
Yep.
involved with this week, occupational health, environmental sciences, various other things. So we kind of can do anything.
But with a primary focus on medical support, interaction.
Yeah,
That's very large.
For our division and the
Yeah.
remote healthcare division, we're
Yeah.
all about training up medics and deploying
Yeah.
our own medics
Yeah.
to remote and hostile parts of the world
Yeah.
in support of other types of operations.
Right, but you support expeditions.
Expeditions,
yeah.
government, military, lots of corporations,
Yeah. TV productions,
NGOs, TV productions, all
news
sorts of-
gatherers, that sort of thing. Yeah,
we run specialist courses for various news agencies
Yeah.
for their correspondents who are heading into
Yeah.
hostile environments and things like that.
What you can see in the background here is part of the extensive training area that Icarus have here in Hereford. It's quite amazing. This room in here I know very, very well because this is yesterday where
Yeah,
we...
a little sweat in there.
A little sweat, I got rained on, I got shot at, I got... you had great fun throwing the thunder flashes,
Yeah.
throwing those into the room or on the outskirts of the room. We had to do a course, all 6 of us yesterday had to come in, we rescued, we evacuated one colleague from this car, he was critically injured, there was another one in this room critically injured, we got this guy in. And then, under incredible duress, we had to identify the problem, the issues that the patient was suffering, stop the catastrophic bleeds, open the airway, oh my goodness, splint broken legs, traction broken legs. Halfway through it, we're told, oh, right, you've got to put an IO in, which I now know is an intraosseous intraosseous patch. That'll do. I'm getting the lingo. So you're trying to do that, and there's firecrackers going off, and your lights are flashing, and there's gunfire, and and all you're screaming at me, and all you've got to do is, put this patch on the guy's chest and get it in exactly the right place, and punch these 9 bloody great needles through his chest, and then put this in and suck his marrow out and push. Oh my god! And then you go back in, and the roof collapses on you, and you've got to crawl through a hole. And while you do that, you've got to get the oxygen bolt through, and we left some of our kit behind, a lot of our kit behind. Some of it. That was we left the other. We left the other lot, the second move. Yeah. Amazing. And then we move again, and I had to do another tracheostomy, for want of the better word, the technical word. Again, with all sorts of crap going on around you, it was quite intense. Didn't think it was ever going to end, but loved every second of it. Put my back out, which was a little painful, but I don't care, because now I've also been trained on the medication that I need to sort the back out, so that's also all right. So, if somebody wants to find out more about your courses and what they can do, where should they look?
Please visit www.IQARUS, which is IQARS. US, sorry.
IQARUS.
I'm tired as well.
US. Yeah, it's not Icarus, it's Icarus.
Yeah, .com, and have a look on there. All of our courses are on there.
I'll put the details there.
Lots of information about what we did.
Yeah, but it's stunning. The training is stunning. I'm stunned. It's been fantastic. The facilities here are amazing. The training has been quite incredible. The guys, Andy and all the other guys that have taught us are all incredibly experienced. And you've worked in how many countries? Just list off some of the countries you've supported.
In the outback in Australia, in Nepal, in various countries in sub-Saharan Africa, and various countries in the Middle East.
Yeah. So in between them, there's many decades in ambulance services and in medical services.
Special forces, ambulance services, all sorts.
So to think that don't think you can get better training anywhere. These guys are the business.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been fantastic. I'm still bubbling over, my adrenaline's surging, but now I know what physiological effects that will have on my body, so I can deal with it. Thank you, mate.
No worries. It's been a pleasure.
Right,
Thanks,
cheers.
Steve. Thanks a lot, mate.
Cut.
I can't even spell Icarus.
I might be able to edit that out. Right, just got permission to walk down through what they call the High Street here.
This is the area where we would be walked in. We would find victims at tables, inside buildings, fallen down in the shops. There's buildings on the right which are 2-storey, so you go in and you find somebody's sick upstairs in the bathroom because they've suddenly been taken ill. There's all these little alleyways and the like. Now, what you can also probably see up in the roof there, you've got some loudspeakers and also a lot of, you've got flashing lights, pyrotechnics. And so when this place was pitch black last night, and we were, well, during the day, it's closed, we were working only with head torches, with flashbangs going off and all the sound effects. It's full on when you're doing it. You can see the vehicle here is also used for vehicle extraction practices, so getting people in and out, both front seats and back seats. There's all sorts of facilities here, so it's a full on training ground area, and it's quite amazing.
Right, another of the gentlemen trainers from Icarus, or rather a division of, a division of Icarus, this is Mr. Matt Rolfe. Hello. And he works out in Thailand, lucky guy. He basically spends most of his time on the beach. I think that's what the other guy said. Perhaps you could tell us about your role in the company and what it is that your division pretty much does over in Thailand and for Southeast Asia, I guess.
Yeah, sure. We're a franchise of Icarus. That I set up 5 years ago, predominantly to offer these sorts of training courses to the diving fraternity in Koh Tao.
Koh Tao. K-O-T-A-O.
Yes.
Okay, Koh Tao.
Just to help raise the safety levels there, more than anything, and to raise awareness of things. And been going great.
So, and that's been established how many years, sorry? You say
5
years. Okay, and you've got, I get the wrong expression here, hyperbaric chambers there? Facilities you use?
We work with a hyperbaric facility over there, and we help look after the divers who may become injured.
Maybe need that facility, okay. And for those that don't know, I do know because my brother works in the dive industry, so I guess I kind of know what goes on in these, but perhaps you can just tell us what that involves. So that a diver, as I understand, he'll get the bends basically, he'll come up too fast, ascend too fast fundamentally. You tell me.
It can be completely random, it doesn't have to be anything that we would classify as deserved, i.e., bolting from whatever, or having a run of heavy nights out, those sorts of things. It can be completely random, totally down to the individual. And what we'll do is invariably we get the call from the dive shop who goes, got a customer who's not feeling too great, do you mind having a look? Yeah, fantastic. And then down to them or to the clinic and go through full neurological assessment, looking at all the vital signs, those sorts of things. And then we consult with the facilities on Koh Samui, on the bigger island, and make the decision whether or not we like to
move them to there. Okay, and so you don't just cover sort of the local area, was it? I mean, you've got probably some of the best facilities in Thailand, I guess, that you're working with. So what sort of area, what sort of distance do you cover?
We'll focus predominantly on people from Koh Tao.
Right.
With the purely and simply because we're getting around about 300,000, 500,000 people a year going through that one small spot.
And it's best known for diving there. It's the biggest, busiest spot. So, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at. We work very closely, more on sort of an advisory level with one of the biggest dive schools in the world. They're putting through around 20,000 certifications a year. Yeah. So there's a huge volume of people going through doing that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, excellent. Well, thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for the help and support. We've been getting advice. Matt's, we've been sort of hearing you in a supervisor, an observer's role, really, on what's going on in this course. But obviously, there's been certain aspects of the training where we've been talking about certain health issues where Matt and his colleague from the office have been able to step in and just give us from a diving point of view, or from this is what we see. So that's been great. It's a bit of extra tuition that we've all received. And as I say, my brother Alistair, who owns and runs liquidsports.co.uk, if you're after a ratio computer, a shark skin, or a big blue light. I know a little bit about the dive industry. It was never my hobby, but my brother's completely and utterly involved in it, so I have a lot of respect for what these guys
do for divers. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure meeting you. Matt was one of the poor unfortunate victims yesterday. I was telling you about the scenario that we had to go through. Poor Matt was dropped on his head, things were dropped on his head. I suspect he was kicked, punched, rolled. We stood on his hands. Then we had to put...
No, I didn't have any hands.
No, we didn't have, we stood on what was supposed to be your hands. And then we had to put on... did you have chest wounds? You had several chest wounds, didn't you? So you have to make a three-way valve, and you make it out of duct tape. And if you haven't got the proper one from your kit, because you've left your kit in the other room, and so you have to improvise. And so you can make this valve to release air from a sucking chest wound, and you do that by putting duct tape all over somebody's chest, but just leaving a flap. So this poor guy was, when the exercise finally finished, was stood there, and we all had great fun ripping duct tape off him, and he was like, he's here because he's not a direct employee. He has to get the crap job. And he has to be the victim when they do these scenarios. So thank you for your patience, and I hope we didn't hurt you too much.
No.
Yeah,
All fine.
That's great. All right, cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.